Hello, this is Maria Elena Duron, and I am founder of Brand Chat. We are a chat on Twitter that's been in existence for a little over 5.5 years, and we speak every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Time, all about branding. One of the beauties and the tools that I love using in Brand Chat is Nurph, and here's why. One of the many benefits of using Nurph is the statistics and the reports and the information that you get that really help you in developing a strong, powerful, very focused chat. Let me show you.
All right, when I'm talking about looking at the statistics and helping that in either promoting your chat, improving and growing your chat, or even improving and growing your business, this is what I'm talking about. So when you log into Nurph, this is what you see when you go to past chats. Now, when you're first logging into Nurph, let me just take you there so you can see. It just looks like this. It's the Nurph brand chat channel. So you see at the very top, it says nurph.com/brand chat. And that is what we're looking at to be able to actually enter the channel. And then you can see at the very top, there's upcoming chats and past chats. So today we're talking about what you can do to improve your chats, your chat promotion, and then also your business by utilizing Nurph. Well, here's what you can do. If you look at your past chats, for example, and let me see if that made sure that opened it up. Great. I just wanted to make sure that that was showing for you nice and clear, and it is, thank goodness. So if we look at the last chat that we had, brands and the newest on social, if you click on any of these chats here, you will see the chat open up, and it's the statistics of the chat. So it shows you, and again, I'm double checking, great. It shows you the name of the chat, the hashtag, the topic, and then exactly when it happened. The resources during the intro we happen to share the resources that we're going to utilize during the chat. So it's any white papers, case studies, blog posts, Facebook posts even, or tweets that are pertinent to the chat that the Branditos had recommended would be good for us to include in the chat as an example or something that's a basis of our conversation. You can also see who RSVP'd. This statistic is helpful to you because it lets you know who is active on Twitter, that they're looking and watching your chat, because not everybody RSVPs. We know this in real life, that not everybody RSVPs. A lot of times they just show up to an event, and that's the bulk of what happens too. So online is definitely reflecting offline. But the people that do RSVP are the ones who are really involved online, involved in Twitter, and they could be great advocates for you. So that's something for you to consider as you're deciding how to invest time and spend time in promoting and working your chat. Who'd be a great fan, who'd be a great brand advocate for you. These are some of the things to consider. Now, I'm not saying, let me make sure that I'm very clear, that I'm not saying to only focus on certain people in the chat. In fact, I do dislike that very, very much. You want to focus on everyone because they're all coming to your chat. These are your guests. You want them to feel welcome. You want them to feel like that they came to the chat and that they were somebody of importance and that they were valued, which they are. You know, as a chat host and a chat founder, I love when people come and attend. There is not one person that is more influential than another. So I want to be very clear about that. But when you're being strategic and smart in your planning, and SMART is an acronym, so specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely. When you're doing that and being smart with what you want to see happen with your chat growth, and then how does this pertain to, if it does, if that's a part of your strategy, how does it pertain to your business? So then you can see who the participants are. You can click here and get to know your participants a little bit better. As a chat moderator, things are too frenzied in the back end and happening, and you're trying to stay really focused, engaged in the conversation to really click through and see who everybody is. So this gives you a nice look at least see who logged into Nurph. And now I'm not saying that's everybody who is involved in the chat. Not everybody becomes involved through Nurph. They utilize a whole plethora of different ways to join the chat, but this gives you an idea who actually logged into Nurph. So they took that extra step, and that's important too, because as you know, in a sales funnel, even as people take extra steps, they have more commitment. It is the same thing as you nurture your brand advocates as they take steps to be able to become closer and become more involved and really more focused in the conversation. These are your true supporters. We see that, today happens to be game day Sunday, so we see that happen with fans in real life for sports teams. You see that they'll do, as they become more committed, they do more things, they become more involved, they do things coming from actually watching the game on television to going to the stadium. This is what you see here happening in the online life of a chat. Now, you can also see how many tweets happen during the chat, which is great. It gives you a chance to, as a chat moderator, to measure the interest in that topic and the excitement around that topic, because you need both to be able to grow and develop your chat. Then you can also view the replay. Now, what I look for in the replay is how many people have viewed the replay. So what this tells me, it's not so much anything that is participant based at this point. What this does tell me is if you're searching and looking at brand chat, was the topic important and interesting enough for people to look at the replay? And was it something that would encourage them to become participants of brand chat? So I do watch this. Understand this chat just happened on Wednesday, and it usually takes a couple of weeks before we start seeing a lot of replays come through. And that is a lot of people who could not make the chat. We all have lives. We all are working and have business meetings that come up and things that we need to take care of that are our priorities. So when that happens, the replay is a beautiful tool for somebody to be able to come in and catch up with the chat in real time and really see the pace of the conversation. Again, the people who view that are more committed than somebody just clicking around looking at the chat. Now you can also see what the questions were, and you can actually click here and see who said something, who mentioned something. Okay. You can also retweet and reply from that, and that is great too. This gives you specifics towards each question. Now that's not everybody who's talked about that question. You saw 2 right there, and there's actually 72 mentions. So that's everybody who was logged into Nurph who responded to that question. You see that there are other people outside of Nurph who also responded to that question. This gives you again a chance to know who the people are who are a bit more committed and involved in the chat. Now when you look at the statistics, you can also see the chat stats here at the very bottom. Who are the top contributors, the most influential, most mentioned, and most retweeted. Okay, I look at this heavily too as a chat moderator. And the reason I do that is, first of all, the top contributors. These are the people who are pretty active in your chat. And unless I know, for example, because I am actively involved in the chat, if I know somebody's been spammy or just been too self-promotional in a chat, or they're having their own side conversation and just using the chat hashtag, I know that, so it gives me a chance to look and see who's on the list, and I have a good feel for who is actively involved and focused on the chat and who is doing their own thing. You can look and see that here too, through the number of tweets, and then figure out who are the people, again, who have a bit more commitment. Most influential, again, I think everybody that comes to the chat is somebody that I consider an influencer and somebody who could be a potential advocate. So the only reason I look at this is just to make sure that they're potentially somebody who other people listen to. It could be that they're putting out great tweets of value. What I'm really doing is more excluding people who are spammy, who are just out there spamming, or it could even be somebody who's just hired by somebody, promote. I'm not looking for that. So I do take a look at this here, because even sometimes that they say these people are the most influential, I don't even remember seeing them on the chat. I don't remember one tweet that they did. So I'll take a closer look just to see if I missed anything too. With the speed of brand chat especially, and you'll see in your chat that high velocity as people become excited and involved in the conversation, you may miss a tweet. Now, the most mentioned, I actually take a look at this to see what they did contribute. This, just to give you a little peek, gives me some insight on who would be a great member of the Brandito Cap Club, which the people who show great chat participation really behave as an ambassador of the chat, are the ones who earn the Brandito cap, which is actually a baseball cap generously donated by I'm in Stitches LLC, who's a great supporter of the chat, Gerald. And look at how people have been doing and who's been participating, but this also helps me see who are some potential people to look for the next chat that would be a great candidate for the Brandito cap. And then the most retweeted. I look at this because these are some things that I can pull out for the recap when I do, actually not the recap or replay here, but I actually do a recap, which is brand chat notes. So it's something that I carry on my blog. It carries all the questions plus some of the responses, some of the key responses, and I look at these and make sure that these that are most retweeted are some of the key ones that I bring up in the recap, because those seem to have some sort of weight or value. So I look at those, and it helps me also get a little bit more insight into who the Branditos are, what their level of expertise is, their passion for a subject, and who also they are connected with, which is very important when you're growing your chat and growing your business. And this is one of the beautiful features I love about Nurph that is provided just a couple hours out of the chat, after the chat. These are numbers and data that can help you be more strategic and smart in planning and focusing on the goals for your chat and your business.